Hello everyone, and welcome to part 1 of the King Basics Guide. It seems we're still in the dark from Namco about when the Season 4 patch will be dropping, so I think I can get another Basics Guide completed before that happens. As usual for part 1, we'll start our character conversation with essential moves that you should be using with King. However, do be on the lookout for any update videos once the Season 4 patch hits and we have to discuss any changes. Also, don't forget that there is always a written version of these guides that you can save if you ever need to reference it. I do keep the written guides updated anytime I come across new information. You can find that link in the video description below. All of that out of the way, let's talk about King's core moveset. So first, as usual, we're going to be saving stances and grabs for the strategy section. Grabs in particular represent a big part of King's strategy, so it's worth going over in depth in part 2. King's jabs are really good because of the safe mid check for timing mix-ups. This is particularly strong on a grapple character. 1-2-1 is also the start of his 10 string, so you can keep going for more mind games. The wall bounce on 1+2-1 is a big threat, particularly for whiff punishing. Just be mindful that it's unsafe. 1+2-3 on the other hand is safe, but it ends with a high, so it can be ducked. 1+2 ends in back turn for some back turn mind games if you have them scared of a follow-up. If they start challenging the 1+2, you can return to 1+2-1 or 1+2-3 for the pseudo mix-up. Forward 2-1 is an I-15 mid-high. It's arguably his most important whiff punisher because of the range. Unlike Armor King, King has a mid option as well, forward 2 down 1, which you can confirm into forward 2 down 1-2 for those trying to duck the forward 2-1. This opens the door also to forward 2 into grab mix-ups. Forward 3 is a fairly quick, safe mid with a DDT extension that gives good Oki. Definitely spend some time practicing the extension since it is a small-ish window, but you'll want to benefit from that reward, which, generally speaking, very solid reward for the risk on forward 3 overall. Forward 4 is a safe mid wall splatting homing move. Fairly quick for a homing move and okay pushback given what it is. Just extremely good move overall. Forward 1+4 is a short range mid, but great plus frames on block and hit, so this sets up nice for grab mix-ups and counter hit opportunities. Forward 2+3 is a long range mid power crushing shoulder, safe at range and wall splats. It's his only power crush, but thankfully it's pretty good. Down forward 1-2 is a mid-mid poke. It's delayable and the second hit is -10, but the second hit is mostly just a check against buttons. However, the check allows you more mental frames on the down forward 1, so again, a nice string for grab setups. Down forward 2-1 is an I-13 safe delayable mid-high string. The delay is a nasty timing mix-up, and it also makes down forward 2-1 confirmable with the potential to juggle. Constantly checking with down forward 2 is a King player staple, and like with down forward 1, you can use down forward 2 for grab setup potential. Down forward 4 is a quick low poke with nice range and tracking. -14, but very useful for Oki pickups. Has string options, but down forward 4-3 doesn't jail on normal hit and can be ducked on reaction, so it's a pretty big risk against good defensive players. Down 1-2 is a low jab into a mid. -11, nice for a quick interrupt, but don't abuse it since it is punishable, and of course the low jab is low parryable. Down 3 is a low poke, +1 on hit and only -12 on block. Tracks well enough but has bad damage, yet it's his only quick low that gives him plus frames. Down 4 is a generic toe kick, great for disrupting your opponent's spacing and timing, but particularly good for King as it serves as a great grab or counter hit setup tool if they're mindlessly challenging it. Down 1+2 is a high crushing mid launcher, -24 on block, so very punishable. This is mainly a tool for big boy reads, but because the high crush happens so early, all you have to do is show this once and it should scare your opponent against mindlessly mashing highs. Down back 2 is a safe mid launcher, but also fairly slow. Has suspect range, so you'll typically see this on Oki when your opponent can't go anywhere, or at the wall when they can't get away. Down back 3 is a high crushing low, +2 on hit and gives a juggle on counter hit. The +2 is very nice again for grab setups. It's right on the border of seeable, so be careful, but it's still fast enough for whiffing purposes or if your opponent just can't see it. Also be mindful that it has suspect tracking, mostly due to the slower speed. Down back 4 is a knockdown low, very slow, so very seeable, but crushes highs and lows, although the low crush is very late. Not something to abuse, but useful every now and then, or again if your opponent can't see it. Back 1 is a quick, safe counter hit launcher. Back 1 2 is also one of his primary punishers. Typically best not to finish the string unless you're punishing, although back 1 4 is safe, just not a natural combo. Back 4 is a safe, high wall bounce, leaves him back turn at +2, so on block you have some back turn mix-up potential, which we'll discuss a little more here in a few moments. Up back 1 is a safe homing move, slower than forward 4 and it's a high, but it still wall splats and gives a guaranteed follow-up even out in the open. He also moves to the side a little, which can be good against moves with weak tracking to the right. Up 4 is King's hop kick, which in this case is a hop knee, -13 on block like usual, low crushes, mid, and gives a juggle. The knee will protect you against generic reversals though, most of which don't work against knees or elbows. Up forward 1+2 is a long range, low crushing mid launcher, +2 on block, extremely slow but useful if your opponent isn't stepping much or is being too crazy throwing things out at range. Forward 4 neutral 2 is a quick, long range, high crushing low, -14 on block, +1 on hit, and goes into a hit throw on counter hit. Very useful, so use often. Forward neutral 1+2 is an I9 mid, 0 on block, +7 on hit, and a massive +18 on counter hit for an easy forward 2-1 confirm. This is a true bully move, so you'll see many King players just spam this. Forward 1 is a safe, long-range mid-homing move, counter hit launcher, but also great for mix-ups and grabs since it gets you to range 0 quickly and gives massive plus frames on hit so your opponent is just stuck there. Forward 1+2 is a safe mid and gives plus frames at range. It also wall splats, huge active window, and actually turns into a low later in the animation, although it becomes unsafe when that happens. King's version of running 3 is a knee, no low crush, neutral to +5 on block, gives a knockdown and a free follow-up on hit. So not as useful as the generic running 3, but still useful. Running 3+4 is a very long range mid, gives massive plus frames on block, and has a huge hitbox and active window with potential for cross-ups. Hugely underrated move, use this whenever you can. While standing 2 is a quick, safe homing mid, +1 on hit. While standing 2-2 is delayable and offers some protection against people trying to challenge the while standing 2 on block, but while standing 2-2 is -12. If you land while standing 2-2, it'll give you a spin state, so lots of plus frames to work with. While standing 4 is a generic move, but still very powerful. Safe, mid, quick, and nice damage. Sets up a nice spacing situation too to encourage whiffs. While standing 1+2 is a mid launcher at only -10 on block. Not super fast and the range can be a bit iffy, but useful as part of his crouch dash mix-up. Also, -10 mid launchers have good risk reward by nature of the -10. Full crouch down forward 2 is a quick, long-range mid-launcher, -14 on block, but you'll see this a lot as a whiff punisher because it reaches so far for an I-15 startup. King has a small little mix-up game in back turn. Back turn 3 is the mid counter hit launcher that can go into a hit throw on normal hit. Back turn down 4 is a better version of his down back 4. It's faster and crushes highs instantly. Also, if you need them, you have back turn down 3, which is the good plus on hit toe kick, and back turn hop kick, which is back turn up forward 4 or up forward 3. Or you can get sneaky and try one of the unblockables, so 1+4 or 1+2. Lastly, we'll talk about King's Rage Drive, which is Rage down back 1+2. It's a beefed up version of his crouch dash 1+2. It's +8 on block, gives a juggle on hit, and hits grounded, and will stun your opponent for a free follow-up in that instance. Whenever King has rage, you'll normally see the King player go for this, particularly after a tailspin, because you want to get all that unscaled damage from the free ground hit. Thanks for watching part 1 of the King Guide. Part 2 is going to be really fun as we talk about strategies and of course discuss his robust grab game. Still, hopefully going over these moves helps jumpstart your King game. But before we leave, be sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. I also try to stream whenever I can, so link to Twitch is down in the description too, as well as Twitter and Facebook page links. Lastly, consideration for the Patreon is greatly appreciated. Patreon is definitely the best way to support your favorite content creators. Regardless, we hope you enjoyed the video and stay safe, everyone.